WTIM.
Welcome to the WTIM Morning Show. I'm Avery Cooper. Your stream brought to you by People's Bank and Trust, where they put people first, and Landmark of Taylorville, where you always do better with Landmark. I have State Treasurer on the phone, Michael Ferrer. It's great to have you here, State Treasurer.
Avery, great to be with you. It feels like winter is on its way, but we had a good summer. Time to put this harvest to rest.
Yeah, it is time to put this harvest to rest. And do you have snow where you are right now?
Light dusting outside. Not a lot, but we know it's coming.
Yeah, that's kind of how we are looking right now. Well, I know that you are trying to unwind from a campaign season. You are projected to have won the re-election for state treasurer, and I guess I wanted to ask you what you're looking forward to in your next term. What are some of your goals?
I think we have made some big improvements in our college savings program. We set up new savings programs to help people save for their retirement, to help people with disabilities have a brighter future. We have really overhauled our unclaimed property division. And so we think we can always be making improvements, but really looking forward to increasing awareness of these programs, because you can have one of the highest rated programs in the country, and that feels very nice. But if families don't know about it, families aren't saving up, learning about it, and saving for their kids' college, it doesn't do much good. So we've grown the program from just around 400,000 accounts to over 800,000 accounts. My time in office, we would love sometime soon to cross that million account threshold. We also are always signing up more people for their retirement. There are over 100,000 people now who are saving for retirement who weren't before, and we're only going to grow that number significantly. So those are some of the things we're looking to do. But I just am thankful for the opportunity to help give people of this state opportunities to lead better lives.
Generally speaking, what do you enjoy about being state treasurer? Because I know you take great pride in your job, but what about being state treasurer do you enjoy the most?
I think I just have a phenomenal opportunity to help people. My mother raised me in the church, raised me to believe that those who much is given, much is expected. It just provides me a lot of joy when people come up to me and tell me the story of how they got extra money they weren't thinking about, or how they signed up their kid for a college savings account and try to put them on a pathway to a better future. I like to tell people that being state treasurer is like playing Santa Claus 365 days a year. We are passing out presents all the time, but really what I do is I help make money for the state, which means we can fund more programs like our schools, our universities, our roads and bridges. I help people make money for college or their retirement. Those are good things. And we fight every day to put more money back into the pockets of people of Illinois. Over $1.5 billion so far, and we are not done. What is not to like?
Again, I want to congratulate you on your victory. Is there anything else that you'd like to add on or conclude with when it comes to your reelection?
Yeah, I mean, there's a reason we run for office. We run for office because of things we want to do in office, and some candidates take a nice break after election. And I say this: the reason I ran is to get to work. And so one of the things we decided to do is last Friday was Veterans Day, and we are in possession of military medals, including 11 Purple Hearts, the highest honor our military gives out, and we would like to track down their owners or their loved ones.
Yeah, I know that that's something you are focused on heavily, especially with the iCash program. That's it's in the same neighborhood of what you're looking for, unclaimed property, including those 11 Purple Hearts. Now, I know you have returned some Purple Hearts before. Generally speaking, I mean, what kind of reception do you get when you return those Purple Hearts to the families?
When you ask why I find this job rewarding, that's a big part of it. Since taking office, we've tracked down the owners, the families of 7 Purple Hearts. And those ceremonies, when we return them, are some of the best parts of this job. There's a variety of stories out there. We've tracked down the owners. We've tracked down their relatives. We tracked down one woman who was unaware her father had earned a Purple Heart. He went off overseas, served this country, came back with his medal and put it in a safe deposit box and didn't talk about it. Didn't brag. He was humble, went about his life. And when we called her, she didn't believe it was her father's. But in that safe deposit box, he also had military papers proving it was him. And she just found it fascinating that even after her father's death, she was still learning more things about him. And we was very happy to have this. We think these medals belong in the warm embrace of family, not in a cold vault in Springfield.
And you have a list of names here. I don't necessarily know if I want to share them over the radio, but you can go to the IllinoisTreasury.gov. You have a list of about 11 names that potentially could claim a Purple Heart. Do I have that right?
You do.
Okay.
We've been trying to track down the owners for some time. There's only limited information available. The Purple Heart is a Purple Heart. You can't tell if it was earned in World War II, Vietnam, Korea, Desert Storm, and they don't have the recipient's name engraved on them. And so if there's not much information in the box, all we can sometimes know is who the owner of that box was, and that person is not always the Purple Heart recipient. So we have used our detective powers. We've mined the depths of the internet and haven't been able to track these people down. And so that's why we put out this release with names and some more information, hoping to spark someone's thoughts. So that someone might have a tip or a lead. If you don't know the person, but it sounds familiar, please reach out to us. We might have other tips, information out there that when we put together, the answer becomes clear.
Yeah, and these are situations from, the early 90s, suggesting that, they were in the infantry, to maybe now somebody who lives in a remote area in California, to people who are still here in central Illinois. So, I think it's worth anybody going out and checking the iCash program.
We encourage people to go to IllinoisTreasury.gov/iCash. Read through the information. It's very easy. And a lot of people do what veterans say they thank a veteran. But this isn't that much more work, but there's a little more you can do if you just take a little time and see if any of this information sounds familiar to you. If so, please reach out to my office and let us know what you know about these people. These are the ones that are really difficult because in some cases they've been with us for a few decades. That's when the box was turned over to us. The Purple Heart may have been earned in World War II. The recipients might be long gone, but it doesn't matter if they're gone. These medals belong in the loving embrace of their families, and we'll never stop trying to track them down. As you know, we have unclaimed property auctions. We have one live in person at the state fair, and we have some online auctions as well, because we collect so many things. We just need to make room for new things coming in. But military medals are something I will never auction off. It doesn't matter how long we hold on to them. We'll hold on to them as long as it takes. We track down their owners or their heirs.
How often do you discover a new medal? Not necessarily a Purple Heart, but any other sort of military commemoration?
Oh, we actually have hundreds of military medals. So
wow.
I would say that there are several a year that come in. But the Purple Heart is a special medal.
Right.
This is earned for large sacrifices. People who were wounded in the course of service to this country, or some are awarded posthumously to someone who died in service to this country. We have other medals we encourage. If people know someone in their family who served in the military, who lost their medals, who just passed away, go to our website, go to IllinoisTreasury.gov, click on iCash, and put their names. Because some people tell me, "Oh, hey, Treasurer, you don't have any of my stuff because I keep track of my money." That may be true, but you might have a loved one who didn't share with you the location of all of their money, all of their policies, all of their safe deposit boxes. And that money gets turned over to us. And just because they've passed away doesn't mean we get to keep it. It belongs to their heirs. And if their heirs, their children, their spouse reach out to us and prove that, we'll love returning to them.
And you can find these lists of names who safe deposit box came into and discovered and turned into the Illinois State Treasurer's office. You can find that list of names when you go to IllinoisTreasury.gov and click on the article, this press release that says Illinois State Treasurer Michael Frerick seeks additional help with Operation Purple Heart. That is State Treasurer Michael Frericks. More from him after this short time out here on WTIM, your information station, online at TaylorvilleDailyNews.com.
WTIM. Your information station. WTIM.
It's the WTIM Morning Show. I'm Avery Cooper. Your stream brought to you by Landmark of Taylorville, where you always do better with Landmark and People's Bank and Trust, where they put people first. Find those streams online on the TaylorvilleDailyNews.com Facebook or on YouTube at WTIM TV. I have State Treasurer Michael Frericks on the phone, and we're talking about all of the great things going on in the State Treasurer's office. And State Treasurer, one of those things that you have on your webpage, IllinoisTreasurer.gov, along the first of the featured programs, the Illinois ABLE program. And I understand that it's a pretty new program. So why don't you explain to me what this program is and what you hope it accomplishes?
Yeah, it's one of our first programs in alphabetical order, but it's also one that will make a big difference in the lives of people with
I see.
disabilities.
It's an alphabetical sorting on your website.
Well, I think we put it up there because we think it's important because it's new. ABLE, for people who don't know, stands for Achieving a Better Life Experience. I think many people are aware of college savings accounts. Families can put money into an account. They can invest that money, and the growth is tax-free as long as it's used for higher education expense. But there are a lot of families out there whose children maybe aren't going to be able to go to college because they have severe disabilities.
Right.
Those families also want a bright future for their children, and in many cases have been prohibited from doing that. What I mean is the federal government offers benefits to people with disabilities, but they are means tested.
Mhm.
What that means, they can't have more than $2,000 in assets or they lose their benefits. I've talked to parents, Avery, who've told me I had to write my child out of my will. I've talked to parents who said I had to tell my child's employer, don't give them a raise because the extra money you give them might jeopardize their benefits and cost them in the long run. I talked to a father who said, I had to tell my dad, don't give money to your grandchildren for birthdays and holidays because you're risking their benefits. That's a horrible situation for a parent to be in.
Yeah.
And so when I came into office, we've created a bit of a workaround.
Okay.
Now, families can put money into an ABLE savings account, just like a college savings account. They can invest that. The growth is tax-free, just like in a college savings account. But the really great thing about this is if they put that money aside in an ABLE account, they can save up to $100,000 without losing their child's benefits. I talk to too many families that every month they have to look at the account balance in the savings account and have to look at some of their assets and spend them down to under $2,000 so they didn't lose their benefits. And it's just created all kinds of stress for families and hassles and needless expenses to try and get their accounts down. This is a program that isn't going to solve every parent's every concern,
Mhm.
but it's going to alleviate some of the big ones.
Obviously, a major goal is savings, right? You want to be able to save without affecting their benefits. But I understand too that you focus quite a bit on vocational training.
Yeah, well, with our college savings programs, we wanted to make sure that college is not for everyone. I talk with parents
Right.
who say, "Oh, my kid's not going to go to college. I don't need to save." But it's clear if you want your kid to have a good job, if you want to have a good future, the days of getting a high school degree and going out and getting a good paying job to support a family, they're in the past. It's difficult. Not every kid needs a 4-year degree, but they need something like an associate's degree or a vocational program, a technical training, an apprenticeship somewhere, some sort of post education that gives them the skills they need to go out and get a good paying job.
Right. And
We
that's
have fought
oh,
very
go
much
ahead.
to make sure the families know they can use their college savings accounts for those things.
I beg your pardon for interrupting you there. I just was wanted to highlight that that's one of the things that you can kind of work on towards with the Able account. I also wanted to know though, how you can sign up for one.
Well, you can go to IllinoisTreasurer.gov, and there you'll see near the top our ABLE program. We've set up tens of thousands of accounts, and we want to set up more. We know there are people out there who will have a much better life experience if their family are able to save something more. In some cases, it's just simple things like the mother I talked to had a severely disabled son, and she told me how happy she was because now she could leave money aside for her child's dentist after she dies. And I thought that's your big concern? And she said, yes. Just who's going to take care of my child's teeth after I'm dead?
Mm-hmm.
I said, well, don't the federal government programs help with that? She goes, they will cover dental emergencies, but not teeth cleaning. And she said, I'm a parent. I I I have responsibility. I'm going to take care of my son's dental visits. But after I'm gone, she previously couldn't leave enough money aside to cover them for some time. And so now she just feels confident that like her son will be able to get regular dental cleanings after she dies. And this is the kind of anxiety that a lot of parents never think about. But those with children with severe disabilities, it's just one of the many concerns they have.
Who is eligible for the Able program?
Anyone who is eligible for SSI for federal benefits would also qualify for parents to save to give them a brighter future. But all this information can be found at our website, IllinoisTreasurer.gov, and encourage people, if someone out there is a parent, a grandparent, an aunt and uncle, has never heard of this ABLE program, but knows a relative that has a disability, we encourage them to read more.
Illinois Treasurer Michael Frericks, thank you so much, Treasurer.
Avery, thank you very much. We've got great programs at the Treasurer's Office. We love helping give people the opportunities to invest in themselves, and I appreciate those who help us spread the word.
Take care. Thank you so much again. That's State Treasurer Michael Frericks here on the WTIM Morning Show.